Hello there and welcome back to Switched On, and today we're going to have a look at a game that's been out a couple of weeks and kind of passed me by a little bit, but I don't know why, because I love sort of RPGs and turn-based strategy games and pixel arts. It's had all the makings of a game that I must get, but just so many games coming out on the eShop at the moment just passed me by a little bit. But I saw a video with the Flannel Fox, Tim Swernick. Check him out if you've not heard of him before. I'll leave a link below. He does some really good Switch coverage. But he was playing it and it looked really interesting, so I grabbed it yesterday. I spent an hour or two with it so far, and just thought I had to make a video as it's such, it's impressed me so much already. So basically, it is turn-based strategy game, or an RPG, really, set in a fantasy world. And you're an adventurer going off to this world of Tangledeep, looking for treasure and all that kind of good fantasy stuff. You get three choices of modes. There's a more sort of traditional roguelike mode called heroic mode, where there's permadeath, and you see there, if you run out of health, you return back to the town, and only goods that you banked will be saved. I'll show you the bank in a sec, but that's quite a nice little feature. But that's like it says there, that's the way it's intended to be played. Then there's this adventure mode, which is kind of a semi-roguelike. So if you do die, you get sent back to the town, but you lose half your money and any progress that you've made in that level. But you can just carry on with the same character, same sort of items that you've got. So that's kind of a less punishing way. And then there's the very punishing way, which is the hardcore mode, which basically when you die you lose everything, and the save game that you've got gets erased as well, so there's no going back, which is quite harsh. But I quite like this heroic mode. I don't mind a roguelike, so we'll go with that. And there's a range of characters to choose from. These basically act as your classes, and they all got different strengths and weaknesses. I started my first games as the hunter because I quite liked having ranged ability. She's got a bow, so she can got sort of ranged combat. But we'll go with someone different for this one. What's this? A brigand. High mobility and massive damage. You see that, you might notice they're all tiered difficulties, so these early characters are meant to be easier to play than, for example, the Soul Keeper here is hard. Edge Thane is hard. And there's also, just see there, a few more to unlock as well that we can get to. I don't know how you unlock them actually. So that's something to look forward to. So we'll go with the brigand. And then you get this choice of bonuses that you can add as well. So there's quite a nice amount of customization. There must be quite a lot of combinations of characters and these feats that they're called. You can mix and match them to get different abilities. So we will go with toughness to get extra HP. And I don't know, quick step sounds good. Take an instant one square move before enemies react. That sounds like a useful thing to have. Kind of wish there was more of these actually. There's a few here that are locked, but I kind of wish it was you had sort of maybe 5 to choose from at the start, and then more revealed themselves as you went on. But that's fine. You also got this choice to randomly pick 2, which is quite cool as well, if you want a randomised game. And then finally you can name your character. Rather terrifying names like Pauline or Kathleen. We'll go with Asher, that sounds quite cool. So there's your character, Asher. She's a brigand, and we're in heroic mode, and her traits are toughness and quick step. So let's start, and I'll give you a very quick tour of what this game's all about. Really nice graphics. Again, some lovely sort of hand-drawn graphics here. And the art in the game's excellent as well, and so is the music. So I'll try and keep quiet for some parts so you can listen to the music. But this is your overworld town, and the mechanics of this game are: you see the character in the middle there, and I'm circling this arrow with the left analog stick, and when you tap A, you move in that direction, and that takes 1 turn. When you make a turn, the enemies make a turn as well. So they won't move while you're not moving, but as soon as you move, they will move as well. So you can kind of really stop, plan out your strategy, have a good look around, use some items, or you can hold down A and just direct yourself with the analog stick if you want kind of a more traditional RPG experience. But this does take a turn still. Every step there took a turn, and obviously while you're moving that quickly, enemies will move that quickly as well. So if you're in a clear area, it's fine. If you're trying to be a bit cautious, I would take it a step at a time. So this, as I say, is starting town. We get a starting item here. So we've got whatever this is, a mint brew. And over here is the bank. And at any time you can return back to this town and deposit any items that you found into the bank. And what they do in the first two modes anyway, not in the hardcore mode, but in the first two modes, you can get access to the bank with new characters and withdraw anything that you've put in there. So if you've got useful weapons or just useful items, gold, store it in the bank at a small price, and then that sort of permanently stays there and you can reuse it in the future. So I think that's a really cool addition. Got a wardrobe here. You can change your appearance and get upgrades and skills as well. We've got a shop, cheekily called Nando's. Says he does the best food in the land. Hard to argue against that. But here you see anything that's in red we can't afford, and all the white things we can buy. And they've got various sort of RPG different stats and buffs that they give you. Probably best to fill up on stuff before you head out on an adventure. So maybe we'll just take, what should we take? Let's take some bananas because that gives you health and energy and stamina. So we'll take those. We've got a general store from KT Twinkles. It's more traditional gear rather than food items. So here you see weapons and accessories and all that kind of thing. Just going to go back here and look at that. Just went through that a bit quick, but I mean, look at the stats and the text, and this sort of thing really appeals to me. Lots and lots of information, statistics. Really cool. Equipment changes your abilities. Over here we've got, looks like the village elder, and they can heal you, change your jobs, and give you a blessing. Not really going to spoil any of that. Erin, she's a good character in the town. Basically, you get side quests from her. They're called rumours. She'll give you a rumour of something that happens in the land. So here is Delight the Banana Bunch. There is an unusual banana bunch loving grotto flyer in Cedar Caverns on the first floor that hoards banana bunches. Drop one of those near the monster and see what happens. You get 43 XP and 193 gold. You can take a few of these side quests. So here's another one here. The rumours of a place called Applewood Grove that can be reached through Cedar Caverns in the first floor. Seek it out, see what lies in wait. And you're rewarded with running shoes of muscle, which will obviously make you move quicker, I'd imagine. So there, you can take side quests. Here we've got fire. The game's got cooking. So here are your ingredients. A bit like Zelda Breath of the Wild. Just throw a load of ingredients into the pan. Cook them up, see what comes out. Once you cook something, cook a meal, it stays in your inventory and gives you extra buffs rather than just sort of eating the bananas on their own. If you cook them up in a meal, you get additional buffs and, you know, the kind of stuff in these RPGs. But again, really nice feature to have cooking in the game. Now down this clearing here, all sorts of other interesting characters. Mr. Tinkerer, or Mia Tinkerer. Again, don't want to spoil too much of these, I'll let you discover them for yourself. Training dummy here that you can practice combat with. And this looks like it's going to be a cool feature. This little froggy here, he looks after this patch of land where you can plant seeds and trees. And I assume it's going to be a little bit like, I don't know, Odin Sphere that reminds me of. If you ever played that game on the PS4 or Vita, you can plant seeds that grow trees and then you harvest the trees to get, you know, food items and buffs and stuff. So I'm imagining it's going to be a little bit like that. And this game's got even more to it, because if you come this way, we've got the Monster Ranch, the Monster Corral, and you can take monsters from here or capture monsters in the wild, bring them back here, train them up, and it's kind of like a Pokemon kind of feature there. I think you can take the monsters out with you as assistants as well once you've trained them up. So absolutely no end of cool stuff, and this is just the starting town. So let's head off on our first adventure. So this is Julia, who sort of controls the ins and outs of the camp, and she'll give you some rumours as well. Again, sorry if I'm whizzing through that, I just don't want to spoil the text too much, let you have a look at that, but just suffice to say she's giving you advice or side quests. A couple of things just before we do head out. Bottom left, there's like a log of anything that happens, which is really useful. It shows you what damage you've done or taken. In the middle, you've got your character and your turn bar. You see there it says extra turn, 84%. When you fill that bar up, every turn you take, the bar fills up. And then when you fill that bar up, you get an extra turn, which I think means that you can move without the monsters moving, possibly. You got your XP bar under that, you level up, and then under that red bar, the long red bar is your health, the green bar is your stamina, and most things take stamina, and the blue bar is the mana that you spend for using magic. You've got a hot bar by pressing X, and you can assign different abilities here that you can use when you're out exploring. So at the minute we've got this one, quick step. It takes 12 stamina. Doesn't cost you a turn though, but allows you to move. So this is really a useful skill, especially if you're sort of close to an enemy. If you activate this, you can step away from them, and they can't, or not, they can't move. They don't move for that turn, so it gives you a little chance to make some space. Really useful. You see there next to the quick step name, CD7 means it takes 7 turns to cool down before you can use it again. And finally, right and left bumper lets you switch between different weapons that you can assign to these 4 slots. So you pick weapons up in the field. Also you see there the urn underneath the sword there. If you hold down the ZR button, you get this pop-up menu. And you see at the top there the urn, or it's a potion really. And that lets you heal. And you can fill that up from various wells that we'll see. There's a couple of things that the blue icon on the right there is a portal. That's how you open a portal back up to this main town. So you can get back to the town, drop some stuff off, get back into the world, which is a really cool feature. And this clock, and this lets you wait. So if you activate that, you'll stand still, but time will move on. So if you need to sort of get past a moving item or let an enemy move out of the way, you can use the wait, so you don't have to move to progress time. But enough waffle, let's get into the world. You can play a tutorial, which is quite good. I recommend playing through that if you get the game. Just shows you the basics. So here we are, entering the Follies, the safest area of Tangledeep, apparently, but still dangerous. So as you can see, we've got this large black area to the right. That's like a fog of war. And as we move into that, that will reveal itself. So you can't always see what's around. So again, taking it one step at a time at the moment. Just having a little scout around, seeing what's about. So here we can see our first creature down the bottom left. Can't get any information on it yet till we get a little bit closer. And he's coming to have a look at us as well. So I think of the skull on his head. Oh, he's firing at us. Kind of trapped here already. And took quite a bit of damage there. So we're going to have to take him out. So it's a little overview of his information. Just again, if we don't move, he doesn't move, so we're perfectly safe. Just to pause here for a second. So you see at the top, he's a savage salamander, and he's hostile, which means he'll be more inclined to hunt you down. And he's hard to fight, And he's a beast type creature, and at the moment he's got 76% of his health left. He's very resistant to fire, and water increases his dodge. So I think already we're in a little bit of trouble here, because we've hit him a couple of times and only hit him for 24% of damage so far, and he's already got us down to 114 out of 200. So he's taken nearly half our damage, and we've only taken a quarter of his. So we need to get out of dodge, really. We have got the quick step ability, but this area here is mud. Now if you walk into that, there's a chance you're going to get stuck for a turn. So using our special ability to get an extra step away from him maybe isn't going to help us right here. So we might have to stick to the water. Oh no, we've got little choice but to face him. Well, actually, let's use our quick step here while we're in the water. He's in the mud, he might get stuck. We'll use our quick step and we can... Oh, he's still got us. Well, this playthrough could end in disaster already. Let's heal. So if you hold down right ZR, use our healing potion. Now, this is one of the points of using the game system of turns, is that this healing doesn't take effect straight away. Even though I've activated the healing potion, it takes a number of turns before I actually get healed. So at the moment it hasn't healed me, but when I start moving, you'll see that the health bar, the red bar in the middle, will start to creep up as we get healed. That salamander is still pursuing us. Now here's a well, we see just in front of us here. That's where we can refill our potion, our healing potion. Well, hopefully we've evaded that salamander for now. So let's see what else is about in the world. We've got this slime. So his moss jelly is aggressive, which means that he'll attack us rather than ignore us. But he's only at average difficulty, and he's a jelly type creature, and at the minute he's got 100% health points, but hopefully, now we've healed up a bit, we can hit him. So let's see, bottom left there, like the log, we just hit him, and it says Asher skewers moss jelly for 24 damage, and then moss jelly bashes Asher for 13 damage. So we're damaging him more than he's damaging us. So hopefully in a few hits we'll get rid of him. And he's produced a mini jelly that we took out there. So he's dropped a stamina power up, so we'll collect that and refill our stamina bar. And we've got a little twinkling sparkling treasure here. Oh, and it's a hood. So this might be a good time just to quickly, I don't want this video to go on too long, but I'll quickly show you the equipment screen. So press plus. And it's took me a little while to get used to. It's quite tricky to get used to this screen particularly. But if I just give you a few pointers, it might help. So across the top right, you've got different tabs that don't explicitly tell you what they are, but we'll just go through them quickly. This first one here looks like your personal tab. So you've got your stats, core stats, and then a little bit about the current adventure, so some sort of stats and records about how you're doing, which is cool. Right bumper, next one is all your gear. So we just picked up a hood, which has been automatically equipped by the look of it. But also, you know, oh, sorry. Any weapons, items, armors, accessories, you can access them all here, swap them around. And this is quite a nice feature, this gear bonuses button. It will show you there any bonuses that gear's currently giving you. So it's really good quality of life feature. I really like that a lot. Sometimes with these games you sort of equip in equipment and, you know, one bar goes up, you don't really know exactly what you're doing, but here it will list all the buffs and debuffs that gear's giving you. So I think that's really a great feature for this game. So next tab is your basically your items, anything you've got. you can use them here. So you see we've got an apple, the bananas, and mint herb brew. Restores 70 to 80 health, so that's cool. Next tab is the jobs. Now you earn job points. You see in the top left hand corner, JP, we've currently got 264 job points. You just earn them generally like XP and completing tasks, sorry. And you can use those job points to buy new abilities here. So the Brigand's abilities at the moment, she's got Quick Step that we've used. Then we could also get Smoke Cloud. So you see on the far right hand side there in the yellow text, it tells you what this does. So it creates a cloud of smoke that grows to fill entire rooms, decreasing visibility for your enemies. Taking an enemy by surprise grants plus 15% chance to crit. And that will cost, if you look further up the top where it says Smoke Cloud, it costs to learn 75. So we've got 264 points. That will cost 75 to have that ability. Escape Artist, bounce off an enemy's head to escape danger, stunning them in the process. Sounds quite cool. And there you go. These ones in red we can't afford yet. They're too many job points. Like the sound of this firebomb. Plant a bomb that explodes in 2 turns, hurting nearby foes. Costs 100, but I think we'll have that. And I think this cloak and dagger sounds good. Expertly move past an opponent, switching places and bleeding them in the process. We'll take that as well. You can see they get equipped to the hotbar, which is cool. Next tab is like a codex, so any recipes that you've learned are here. Rumours are your side quests. So if you forget them, you've got easy access to them here. Combat log is basically what you got in the bottom left hand corner, just expanded everything that's happened in the game. And Monsterpedia is just records about what monsters you've encountered and some stats about them. And then finally you've got settings. Lots of different things you can change. And you can also save at any point. Go back to the title screen, and this is another cool feature, the world seed. So if you found a particularly good map, or you want to challenge a friend maybe, you can give them this seed. They can put it into their game and they can play basically the same map that you're playing on. So like I say, this game is really taking me by surprise. It didn't really do much for me browsing through the eShop. I had a look at it a couple of times, but I don't know, just something didn't really grab me. But it wasn't until I saw it in motion and heard a little bit more about it that my interest was really piqued, and really pleased that I picked this up. So let's just play a few more turns and then we'll call it a day and let you go to the eShop and buy this, because hopefully that's what you're going to do. So let's use this firebomb that we've just equipped. Oh, we're not close enough. Well, we're going to plant it, aren't we, actually, I think. Yeah, create a bomb. And then we can hot tail it out of there. And it explodes and takes out that enemy. So these are grotto flies. They're hostile, which means they come after you. Average difficulty, it's an insect. And this one's got 65% health left because we blew a bit of it up. We've been hit with venom by this thing. What other abilities have we got? Cloak and dagger and quick step. Really want to take these out, to be honest. So that's one down. I think we better heal up as well. We're attacking this one. Keeping an eye on our stamina and our health bar. Hopefully one more hit. Oh, he's still fleeing. Come back. He's trapped now. And there we go. Taking him out. So let's see what's in these crates. Ooh, iron claymore. Very nice. Now, like I said at the start, you can use left and right bumper in the bottom right hand corner there to switch between different weapons. If we want, we can go to the equipment tab and just have a look at those two. Oh, oh goodness. Under current gear. So Brigand Shank, that's what we started with. Weapon power 125, and it's a dagger. And the Iron Claymore, 204 power. The difference with this one, it's a two-handed weapon, so we wouldn't be able to dual wield or have a shield or anything, but that's just something we need to bear in mind. But we'll stick with that for now. And then we've got a garnet in that crate, which is like a currency that you can use. I'm going to try and use this firebomb again if we can entice this fly thing. Strangely, it's aggressive, but it's running away from us. So let's try the cloak and dagger, where we switch places, but give it bleed. And there we go. That's a lot easier to take out. And you drop these power-ups, these stamina blobs. So what we're actually looking for in this land is a staircase that will take us up to the next floor of this dungeon. But we've not come across it yet. They're randomly placed. All these levels are randomly generated. So the stairs could be anywhere. Ah, here's a useful bit of information. These little tutorial pages that you can pick up. So there, this one gives you some recipes. So it tells you how to make a fruit bowl and meat kebabs. Really useful, these little things when you pick them up, give you little tips about the world. It's another good thing when you die as well. I mean, obviously dying's not good, but when you do die, you get hints and tips about what to do better next time. So that's a nice feature. So let's go this way. Oh, there is a map as well, by the way. The minus button brings up a map so you can see the areas you've explored. You can move the map around, zoom it in. It's a floating map over the top, which can be a bit distracting. But looks like we found our stairs. Now you don't want to go to these stairs too early because each floor increases in difficulty. So you don't want to go straight for the stairs until you've leveled up a little bit. We're still a level 1. We still haven't found much in the way of great gear. We just found some boots in a barrel. Sturdy boots. They've been automatically equipped, so they must be better than what we had. So sturdy boots. Step through mud with no penalty. That's going to be a really useful buff that we've got. So I think we'll leave it there. I mean, I would like to do a longer playthrough really, but this was just meant to be a quick overview, just to give you an idea of what the game's like. Hopefully you've seen enough to like what you might have seen in this game. Sorry. As I said, really good. I think it's $13.99. I think in the UK eShop. Great value because this game is just going to last you hours. And I think, even though I haven't unlocked it yet, from what I understand, there are also daily challenges and leaderboards and that kind of thing. I know there is in the Steam version. I'm not sure if it's made it into the Switch version. I'm going to have to double check that. But I might do a longer playthrough of this, like a whole sort of run. See how we get on, see if we can complete a run or die trying at least. And I will probably get this game up for review as well next week and really dig into it. But for now, I hope that's enough and hope you enjoyed that video. And so definitely have a look at this if you like RPGs, if you like strategy games, like turn-based stuff. And then check this out. Maybe watch some other playthrough videos. As I say, Flannel Fox, I'll leave a link to the video that he made below. And he might have a sort of a different viewpoint on it. Help you make a decision. But until then, I will bid you farewell, adventurer. And see you on the next video. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.